What's going on, folks? Zapp here, and welcome to episode number 20 of the Zapp Talk series. It's been a while, and most, if not all, of these questions are over a month old because I haven't really been on. I've been busy playing games and working, so haven't really had the time to sit down and do a Zapp Talks video, record for you. But yeah, I figured I'd go ahead and knock this out the park. It shouldn't take too long. Um, Most of the questions, or at least a good handful of them, pertain to Mortal Kombat, of course. But let's go ahead and not waste any more time and get into it. Derek Cruz asks, of all the characters who didn't die in MK9, Ermac, Reptile, Johnny Cage, etc., with Quan Chi and Shinnok excluded, who do you think would have the best fighting style and generally the most fun to play with this new 3 variation system? That's a loaded question. There's too many hypotheticals in it. For one, we don't even know if those characters would be in the game. 2, we don't know what fighting styles they would have. And 3, even if we did know what fighting styles they would have, we wouldn't know how much fun those fighting styles would be to play. So those, you can't really answer any of those, and ultimately you couldn't even give your question a straight answer. So it's way too much of a loaded question. Daniel Bricker asks, will you make a tutorial video on M. Bison one day? Absolutely not. I don't do tutorials. I've said this several times before. I don't do tutorials in videos because I'm not the person that sits down and, I'm not the person that sits down, records, and learns the ins and outs of my character so that you guys can too. I literally pick up a game, find a character that I like, learn the basics of my character, and then level up as I go. So for me to sit down and do a tutorial on M. Bison, a character that I don't even know everything about yet, would be really dumb. So no, I don't do tutorials. I don't plan on doing a tutorial for anything ever. That's just not my thing. Salvador Hames, whatever, he asks, hey Zapp, is there any survival horror games that would interest you in the near future, like The Evil Within? The Evil Within looks like complete garbage, so no. I would say the only thing that I would look forward to as far as a survival horror game would be PT, the Silent Hill playable trailer. But other than that, no, there are no survival horror games that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, that's about it. This one comes from Chris Pickett. He asks, what do you think of the Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks game? I think it sucked ass. Well, it's not a fighting game. It's a beat 'em up. And if you literally go into Shaolin Monks thinking you're going to be playing a fighting game, then you're sadly mistaken. For a beat 'em up, it's a good game. But if you think it's a fighting game, of course you're going to think it sucks, because you don't know the difference. That's just my opinion. This one comes from Slim Day 82. He asks, is there a website where I can purchase a fight stick? Yes. You can go to the Hori website, you can go to the Mad Catz website, you can go to the Quamba website. Like literally any website that, or any brand of stick, Hori, Quamba, Mad Catz, they have a website. Just Google it. It's really good to just Google, or even Foehammer. Foehammer joysticks are really good as well. Check them out, man. Google is thy friend. Google be thy name. This one comes from Trent Stacy. Now that Halo 2 Anniversary is confirmed, are you gonna consider buying an Xbox One? I've considered it, but at the same time, it's still a fucking big ass investment. Getting an Xbox One, renewing Xbox Live Gold, buying a system. All that is a lot of money, and a lot of money that I'm not going to spend just for one game. But hey, it's Halo Anniversary, you can go back and play Halo 2 and, Halo 3 in all their glory. Still, I can play Halo 2 locally here, because we have LANs and tournaments and shit for it. And then I can play Halo 3 on Xbox Live if I wanted to, without having to buy another system. So, I mean, it's on my mind, but as of right now, there ain't jack shit I want on an Xbox One. And Master Chief Collection is like, meh, it's whatever. I contemplate it, but still, that's a lot of money to spend on one game. Derek Cruz asks another question. He says, what do you think of the Rainbow Six franchise? The Rainbow Six franchise is really good. Um, I think Ubisoft has done a great job of not saturating the market with it, like they have with, what is it, Assassin's Creed and all these other garbage ass games that Ubisoft is flooding the market with. More specifically, Assassin's Creed. Like, it's just constant Assassin's Creed games. But Rainbow Six is a game, it's a franchise that has really stood the test of time as being one of the best first-person tactical shooters ever. So I love the Rainbow Six franchise, really good. Hey Zapp. Oh, this one comes from Max Akira, by the way. He says, hey Zapp, what characters are you hoping to see revealed in Mortal Kombat 10? Also, what do you think about each character having 3 unique combat variations? I honestly don't care which character they reveal next, because it's supposed to be the majority of the cast is new, but from what I'm understanding, it's going to be like half and half new characters, half old characters making a return. So it's whatever. But I don't really have anybody in particular I want to see come back. I just want the game to be good. I don't care the characters. Like, I'm not. The fact that it's a Mortal Kombat game brings enough nostalgia for me to where I'm not gonna completely geek out if I see another character that was in the previous game. So yeah, I don't really care who they bring back next. As far as the 3 unique combat variations, I think that adds a huge dynamic to the game where people are not going to just focus on one particular matchup. They have to focus on several particular matchups because there's 3 combat variations. So if someone picks a combat variation and, you know, none of your characters' combat variations do very well against it, then you're forced to pick a totally different character and learn that one combat variation that beats that one. So it's really tricky, and it's going to add a lot of thought that goes into the game for the most part, at least at high level anyway. Let me see what other questions you guys got here. This one was funny. I laughed at this one. Tiara Sepulveda, I guess, asks, do you still interact with Almighty? Great vids, been watching your channel since I was 12. Thank you. And no, I don't interact with Almighty. What the fuck kind of question? No. God, no. Alright, so we're coming up on the end here. This one comes from Keeper of Peace. What do you think about Telltale Games' The Wolf Among Us? I think it looks cool. I just don't give a shit about it. It's not The Walking Dead. I play Telltale's The Walking Dead because it's The Walking Dead, not because it's a Telltale game. So when people ask me about The Wolf Among Us, and they're like, yo, why haven't you played The Wolf Among Us? Like, was I supposed to? But yeah, it plays just like The Walking Dead, but it's not The Walking Dead. I'm a Walking Dead fanboy. I read every fucking comic. I read up on the novel. I know what happens to the governor's people at the prison from the comic book. You know? Like, that's how deep into the Walking Dead lore I am at this point. So, I don't give 2 flying fucks about The Wolf Among Us. But, yeah, I get that question frequently. Like, yo, that new episode of The Wolf Among Us is out, dog. Where's your videos on it? I don't give a fuck about it, B. Stop asking me about it. But nah, I just don't care about The Wolf Among Us. Sorry. And this is a good old-fashioned favorite. And this is going to be the last question. Do you think Killer Instinct for Xbox One is a good fighting game? Oh, this comes from Pac-Man96. My bad. Do you think Killer Instinct for Xbox One is a good fighting game compared to the others you have played? Absolutely not. I think Killer Instinct on the Xbox One is one of the worst fighting games I have ever played. Absolutely lazy mechanics, and the most difficult thing about Killer Instinct is just doing manuals. The footsie game in that game is pretty bad. It's really bad. It's literally poke, poke, poke until you land a solid hit to confirm into a ridiculous combo. And then at that point, it's guess. If they're gonna fucking breaker, if they're gonna go for a combo breaker, you do a counter breaker. That's it. There's no real meta in Killer Instinct. And once it gets to a certain point with Killer Instinct, where the newest character that's been released has been figured out, all the tech for that character has been figured out, then there's nothing else about the game that people need to learn. And I've had this conversation with a few Killer Instinct players in my area, and they kind of agree. It's that once every character has been figured out, like before Fulgore came out, every character was already figured out. There was no new tech to discover, nothing. Then Fulgore came out, and then it's like, oh shit, Fulgore has all these cool tricks and stuff. Then Fulgore got found out. Now we're waiting for TJ Combo to come out. Once TJ Combo comes out, all it's going to be is learning the intricacies of TJ Combo, and then the game's going to go back to being flat and boring for the most part. You know, at least with games like Injustice, Injustice had its stint where, you know, everything was figured out, and then somebody will come up with some new Batgirl tech or some new Flash tech, and it still happens pretty frequently, as a matter of fact, in Injustice. Street Fighter, new stuff is being found out all the time, whether it be glitches or new ways to combo into red focus or new character specific matchup tech, you know, things like that. Stuff gets found out. Killer Instinct is a pretty flat game, and the development of the game's tech is completely dependent on the new characters that are being released in Season 2. So, no, I don't think Killer Instinct is a good game. I think it plays very bad. The animations are terrible in the game. And the best thing about Killer Instinct is the particle effects. That's pretty much how I feel about the game. But that's going to do it for this episode of Zapp Talk series. If you guys have any questions that you would like for me to answer in the next video, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I will get to them as soon as I can. I'm gonna try not to take too much time in between episodes. So the next episode should be up early next week. So yeah, thank y'all for watching, and I'm out. Peace.